Hi everyone, this is Erin with Cedar Falls Public Library, and today we're going to go over how to Zoom. This might be a little late to the game, but better late than never, right? So in order to do this the right way, I'm going to need some help from my coworkers. As you can see, I have a few people waiting to come into the meeting, so I'm going to go ahead and let them all in. Hi everyone. Can you hear me? Hi, what? I'm having trouble hearing everyone. Hello, can you hear me? Oh my God, what's going on? Oh my gosh, okay. This is supposed to be a how-to video and we're not doing a very great job. So we're gonna have to start over, okay? Let me get you all muted. Start that the right way. Okay, wow guys. Really? Really? Okay. Can you hear me now? All right, good. Okay. So I had to mute you all because you broke the cardinal rule of Zoom meetings, which was you didn't have yourself muted when you came in the meeting. So the first thing you should do when joining a Zoom meeting is mute yourself. If the host doesn't mute you already, down in the bottom left is an option to mute yourself. And you can click that, and then the rest of the people can't hear what you're saying. And then you can unmute yourself when you're ready to talk. So the next thing that we should talk about is our video. Now, unfortunately, I can't use my video right now because of how I'm recording this. But for example, if one of my attendees had to make a phone call or had to do something else, they could stop their video momentarily. And that way their screen would be black, like mine and Amy's and Rebecca's right now. And then they can do whatever they need to do, and then they can start their video again when they're ready to. You might have a child at home who needs your attention momentarily, or you have to let your dog out. Whatever reason, there's the option to stop your video. It can also prevent you from doing something embarrassing, like taking your laptop into the bathroom with you. You don't want to do that. So those two options down there are your lifesavers during a Zoom meeting. They're very important. Please use them. The next thing I want to talk about while I have my helpers here is the different views. Now I'm using gallery view because I like to see everybody at once, and that way I can see their faces and I can see how they react when I say something. So maybe I say something really rude and they're like, what the heck did you just say? Or it's just nice because that way it also feels like a real meeting. You can see everybody at once. However, some people prefer the speaker view, which I'm going to click to right now. And you can still see everybody at the top, but for example, if I say, if I ask Mary Kay to introduce herself really quick, she'll unmute herself and the video should go to her. So Mary Kay, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mary Kay. I work in the reference department.
All right, thank you. And so speaker view is nice in that it can highlight who's speaking. There's no doubt about it. It was Mary Kay who was speaking. However, when people don't have their microphones muted, a lot of the times there's competition between who is speaking, and the computer will bounce from person to person to person as it's detecting audio input. So that's another great reason to use your mute button when you're not speaking. And the last thing I want to go over while I have everybody here is the chat button. It's also located at the bottom, and this is a great way to talk to people during a meeting without interrupting whoever is speaking. So for example, if I wanted to ask Jessica a question while Ambry was talking, I could type that in here, and Jessica's typing to us saying, hi everyone, it's great to see you all. Now as the host, I can control who is allowed to speak to who. I can turn off chat completely, so you may not have this option depending on what your host has selected, but you can also chat just with someone. You can private chat someone. So if you want to ask someone specific a question, you can send a message just to them. If you want to ask a question or make a comment to everybody, you can do that too. So it's a great way to have another discussion without interrupting whoever is speaking at the moment. So that's all I have for my group. So usually at the end of a meeting, we like to wave goodbye. Sometimes people unmute themselves and say goodbye. But either way, they're going to hit a button at the bottom that says leave meeting, and then they're going to go bye-bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so I have a few more things to go over. Now that the rest of my coworkers have disappeared, except for Amy. Oh, there she goes. All right, so now that it's just me, I wanted to talk a little bit more about muting and the video. It's important to maintain at least a slight level of professionalism when you're in a Zoom meeting, because even though we're not together, it's still common courtesy. So if you do have your video on, it's nice to at least have a complete set of clothes on. We've seen these horror videos on the news about people not wearing pants during a Zoom meeting, and it's very tempting to dress comfortably when you don't think that people will be able to see all of you. But keep in mind that emergencies happen, and that sometimes you're not able to predict when you're going to have to get up in the middle of the meeting. You might not be able to turn off your video to go chase your cat or help a child who might need help. So it's a great idea to have pants on at all times. You don't want your coworkers to see your underwear, and they definitely don't want to see your underwear either. The mute button, again, very important. It's also there if you need to just temporarily mute yourself if you're speaking and you need to cough, for example. You can mute yourself and cough and then unmute yourself so you're not making a loud noise over the microphone for the rest of the people there. Depending on what your host has allowed, you may see these options down here called reactions. This is a great way to get a quick response from everybody. I've seen meetings that have dozens of people in them, and it doesn't make sense for all of them to unmute themselves to say something at the same time. So for example, if you had to do a quick question like, is everybody okay with wearing jeans tomorrow for Casual Friday, even though you're in the comfort of your own homes, then you can say, give a thumbs up if you agree, and you can see everybody giving a thumbs up, and then you don't have to have everyone unmute themselves or everybody type in the chat box, yes, I agree. Sometimes we like to begin our meetings with a joke sometimes to help lighten the mood and make things a little bit better these days. But when everyone's muted, you can't hear them laughing, so you can do the applause to indicate that you thought that was a great joke, and let them know that way. So when you're done with the meeting and you're ready to leave, the way to end your session is going to be at the bottom right, and instead of end, it will say leave meeting. And mine says end because I'm the host. So now that this meeting is over and we've gone over the basics of Zoom, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. But before that, I want to put up my contact information. Again, my name is Erin Gitchell-Thompson. I'm the Technology Librarian at Cedar Falls Public Library. You can email me questions, and I'm happy to get back to you. You can also email our reference department. They're great. You can also give me a call. I'm not in the office every single day these days, but I do check my messages, and I will get back to you. If I can't answer your question, I can hopefully at least refer you to a resource who can. So again, thank you for joining us today. We will probably be doing a few more of these kinds of short videos now that we are all in a new virtual world. And if I don't see you again soon, hopefully at least we'll get in touch some other way. Thanks for joining.